and especially linear equation in one variable. So that is the equation which could be written in the format that is given here, ax plus b. Here, as you can see, this a and b are constant and x is the variable. And since there is only one variable, this equation is known as single variable. And the reason why it is known as a linear equation is we do not have any power or any non-linear behavior to x. So there is no x square or x to the power e or something like that, or square root of x. That kind of non-linearity is not present in that equation, and if we have simply x, that's why it is a linear equation. So two things, one variable x, and since there is no power or no square root to x, this is linear equation. Okay, so ax plus b is the simplest linear equation in one variable. When you plot this, the graphical representation, or if you use this equation to plot different values of x, right? So you can, since x is a variable, you can plug in different values of x, and you can get different points on your graphing paper. And if you connect them, you will essentially get a straight line. So this is also an equation of a straight line, and this equation represents a straight line when plotted on a coordinate plane or when plotted on a graphic paper. Okay. Some simple examples of linear equation in one variables are given here. You can see that the constant a, b, and c are varying in each of the three examples that we have here, but there is only one variable x in each of the equation, and the power of x is 1. Okay. Again, these are the various ways you can see. So these are examples of one variable, one linear equation. Okay. Now this might be very trivial for most of you, but there are simple steps that you can use to solve this, right? So since this is an equation, you can solve and find out the values of x, right? So what I mean by that is, this is an equation. I can simplify and always get the value of x. And the simplest way to do this is like, subtract both the side 3. So this will go away and this will become 4, and then 2x equal to 4. Then in that case, I will divide both the sides by 2. So if I do that, the solution to this whole equation is x equal to 2. And that is what we mean when we say solving. So these are the different steps to solve a linear equation, one variable problem. First, simplify both the sides by subtracting something. Try to isolate the variable, right? And then solve for x. One important thing, not necessarily only in linear equation one variable, in any math problem that you're solving in SAT or in general in any of the subjects that you're taking, is you always want to check your solution. And this is one of the things that most of the students do not do. They solve the problem, but they do not check their solution. So the final step, which has been highlighted here, if you want to score high on SAT or in math in general, always build a habit of checking the solution. So after solving, let's say you got a value of x, you need to back substitute that value back in the equation and see whether that is satisfying that equation or not. That is the checking part, right? So if I take this example, I solved this problem, and for that x was equal to 2, right? So what is the checking? I can take this x equal to 2 and substitute that here. So this will be 2 times 2, that is 4, and 4 plus 3, that is equal to 7. So I know my solution is correct. And that is what I mean by checking the solution step, right? And this is a habit that I really want you to build. This is a good habit, a long-term habit for anyone who is in math, learning math, that you can use to consistently improve. It might take a little bit more time initially because we are building the habit, but once you have built it, it will be really fast for you to check the answers, and the accuracy that it will lead to in terms of you solving a question correctly is immense, and your scores or your performance in math subject is going to increase dramatically. I think just by checking, people are able to eliminate 7 to 10% of the common mistakes that they have done. Sometimes what happens, you have solved the problem, you know everything, you have solved the problem, maybe in the last step during division, instead of 3 you found 2, right? and you selected that as an answer, even though you solved the problem correctly and you did not substitute it back and you did not check for it, you got the questions wrong, right? So this checking step is very, very important, and I want to emphasize that at the beginning. Going forward, I would like you to build this habit of always checking the solution. When you're doing the homework, check before generating the final solution. Okay, so let's go on, and we will follow the four steps that is there, right, to solve this problem. So let's solve this problem. 2x plus 3 equal to 11. Obviously, the simplest one is subtracting 3 from both sides. And if we do that, we will lead to this one. That's the step number 1. Step 2 will be dividing, right? 2 by 4, dividing both the side by 2. So this will lead to x. Now I'm going to use the checking approach. So I will substitute this 4 here. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 3, that is going to be 11. And since that 11 is equal to 11, I know this solution is right. So that is an example where we are basically implementing all the 4 steps to solve this very simple problem. Okay. Now, some of the common mistakes, right? Sometimes you forget to apply all the operations on both the side. So if you're multiplying by -1, or if you're subtracting 3, you have to do on both the sides. Not checking the solution, and this is a common mistake. And sometimes misinterpreting fraction. So you have to inverse, and that might be an issue, common mistake. So look for these common mistakes and try to avoid those common mistakes when you are practicing this. Okay. Now let's with this. So this is the introduction to the topic that we have. So that was the solution. I think you did very well. Great job. So let's move on to fourth problem, which is a medium level one variable, one equation problem that comes in SAT. And the reason it's medium is, first you have to formulate the problem. And when I say formulate the problem, you have to derive the one variable linear equation, and then maybe you have to use that to solve it. So let's get started with this one. And you have roughly 1.5 minutes to solve this problem. So each of you have got B. Good. Okay, so let's quickly go through the solved example problem. Okay. The solution for this is that first of all, we can set up an equation, right? And that equation will come from the first sentence. So if you go back and if you read the first sentence, you can formulate an expression for this, which is 3 times m plus 12. 3 times number is added to 12, so this is 3m plus 12. And the result is 33, so 3m plus 12 is equal to 33. Now the same number what number results when 15 times m is added to 9? So, this will be 15m plus 9. Okay, so what we have? 3m plus 12 equal to 33. From here, as I mentioned at the beginning, typically what you need to do in most of this problem is solve for the value of the single variable. In this case, that is m. So we will follow the steps, which is subtracting both sides by 12. This will lead to 3m equal to 21, and then divide both the sides by 3, and that will yield m equal to 7. Once we have that, we can substitute that value of m in the second expression, which is 15m plus 9, right? So m will be substituted as 7. So 15 times 7 plus 9 is going to be 114. And that was your answer.